Sky's the limit, the truth is on our side. There's no time for worry, let's show the world our pride. Whether another comes up with a surprise, we all will discover where our fate will lie. On a blue wave, we rise to save the day. Only me, only you can let our hearts sail away on a blue wave.
So today on TruBlu Politics Podcast, episode 25, we have our special guest who really needs no introduction, Jody Hamilton, the executive producer of The Stephanie Miller Show and also a regular contributor and panelist on the Bob Seska Show.
Mm-hmm.
And welcome, Jody.
Thank you guys for having me on. I am so happy that you guys asked me to do this. I really am.
Yeah.
And we are very honored to have you with us.
We really are. I you're the perfect guest, honestly, right now.
Yes, we need each other more than ever right now. And, I was really, really hoping that this was going to be a celebration. And
me too. I couldn't even think about it not being. I seriously, it was too grotesque, too scary for me to even contemplate this happening. And yet it's happened. It's a nightmare.
That's what I wrote to my mom in the morning. I got up at 2:30 in the morning because Lonnie's been running cameras for me on Stephanie's show. Mm-hmm. And so I got up early thinking nobody's texting me, so maybe it's okay. That's what I thought all night.
Yeah,
right? There's no major texts happening from Stephanie or anybody else. And then I got up and I went to Twitter or wherever the hell I went. Can I swear?
Yes.
Oh, where the fuck I went.
Especially
wherever
now.
the fuck I went. I need to ask these things. And so I found out that motherfucker won.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Pennsylvania? What?
Yeah.
Anyway, so Lonnie got up about 15 minutes later and he was brushing his teeth and I went, that motherfucker won. And the look on his face was utter shock.
Oh, yeah. Everybody, Maya called me. I went to bed not knowing for sure, but I could see the writing on the wall because Karen and I were on with Hal Sparks that night he was streaming all night. Yes. Poor guy, because he was trying to be positive, you could tell, but it wasn't looking good. It just wasn't looking good because I was listening to Steve Kornacki, occasionally, and he was, Steve Kornacki breaks down each district, and what was remarkable, really devastating about it was how and this is what he does. He was taking Trump and Kamala and how many votes they got, and then he was showing it compared to Trump Biden. Mm-hmm. And Biden, of course, had done better in each of these districts, and that was what was scary. And the only explanation I have, because he's just such a grotesque person. Mm-hmm. He's a criminal, an adjudicated rapist. He's so corrupt, and the last few weeks of his campaign couldn't have been worse. He was giving a blowjob to a microphone, okay?
Right.
And yet these people would rather have that than a woman. And we've elected a black man, but a woman, every time a woman's run, this is what has happened, even against the worst candidate ever. The worst person you could think of, a total fucking moron. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's scary. And a Russian puppet. Oh my God, they would rather elect a Russian puppet.
Right. Yeah.
No, you're not wrong, Anita. I mean, it's the first person I spoke to before I talked to I talked to my mom first because I emailed her and I said I woke up to a nightmare.
I know.
And she called me at like, I don't know, 6:30 because she was up. She and her
Jody's
husband.
mom is Carol Burnett, by the way, just to say.
So
just to
y'all
let
know.
everybody know. Yeah.
And
We'll name drop that for you. Okay.
and so I said, Mom, the email I sent her, I said, Mom, I don't know if I can live in this country after January 21st. Right. And so she called and I just burst into tears like I did on Stephanie's show. So I'm going to do it again.
It's okay.
And,
it's okay.
And it was just like, she was like, I know, honey. I know. We're going to be okay. I'm like, I don't know, Mom. And it was a whole, mom-daughter kind of conversation. And then my friend Jeff, who's a gay man who lives in Alabama.
Oh, my God.
Because his dad is a Trumper, unfortunately. He's in hospice. His mom died a couple of years ago. And he moved there to take care of them. And he's terrified, And I said to Jeff,
oh my God.
He goes, he has to teach dance. And he's like, there's a bunch of Trumper parents that he teaches their children. Their children are not Trumpers because they're children. Yeah. But it's a wealthy neighborhood. And he's like, I just have to bite my lip and bite my tongue. I'm like, just be safe, Jeff.
Yeah, that's right.
Be safe.
Just
that's
safe.
All I cared about. And then I called Stephanie and burst into, I literally have no idea what I said on her show. Yeah. I just remember crying. And then Karen was so sweet. And she texted me. She goes, do you want to talk? I'm like, yes. And so then we had a conversation. And then my neighbor next door, her husband writes for Jimmy Kimmel. So I'm worried about his livelihood and and their safety.
Yeah. I don't think Jimmy Kimmel understands because he talks about it. He's actually talked about the threat to him personally.
Yeah.
And we know that they tried to get him. Donald Trump tried to get him fired before. Remember? He had them call Disney. But then he talked about it as if it's just one election and we're going to make it through this.
Not now. He's not the same way now. He's totally terrified right now. In fact, my neighbor, I saw my neighbor. The wife is a teacher and Eric works for Jimmy Kimmel. And I saw her today and we hadn't hugged yet. And so we just hugged. And I said, how's Eric doing? And she goes, I haven't talked to him because she's been so busy with work that she hasn't been able to grade papers and stuff because it's been just busy. And I'm like, stay busy. Come over on Friday and we'll drink.
I haven't been drinking, but I think I'm going to take it up again.
Well, you know what? If you're sober, do not take it up again because that's a bad idea. But
occasionally. Okay. I'm not a big a fan. I just, wouldn't mind having it.
Let's put it this way. It's not, Trump term number one, rage watching Rachel Maddow.
Yeah.
Like where I was probably putting away minimum of a half a bottle by myself. And
but now it just feels so hopeless. It's even worse. Yeah. It's like
tonic, alcohol, just tonic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and if you in Texas it's not legal, but
I do CBD. It's called
Yeah.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need to try that. Maya's got the gummies.
That's my thing. It's a gummy and it's from CB Distillery. Hi, Stephanie Miller. And it's called Shh. And I take one right before I try to go to sleep. And I get a good 6 hours.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow, I need to get some of that.
Does it make you groggy in the morning?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
So it helps you fall asleep and it helps you stay asleep?
For a good 6 hours, which is hard for this job. So
wow.
It's CB Distillery. It's called Shh.
I'm going to have to look it up. Is it spelled S-H? Now spell it out.
S-H-H-H-H-H.
Okay.
If you go to cbdistillery.com, you'll see it. And it's a very small amount of THC. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't give you the munchies. It just makes you a little tired.
Right.
And it gives me a good 6 hours every night when I need it without alcohol. So I highly recommend it.
Yep.
I'm going to have to try that.
Yeah.
I've tried melatonin.
No, this has a little bit of that, but it's CBD and THC. It's just a small amount of THC if you can get it legally in Texas. And I take it about a half an hour before I want to go to bed. Mm-hmm. And then once I crawl in, it takes me a good half an hour because Lonnie can fall asleep in 10 seconds.
Of course.
On the other cannot.
Men, all men can do that. It's a
weird thing.
They're born that way.
Yeah.
It seems even if they haven't had some sex yet, they can still just.
That's true. They can just fall asleep on the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does it all the time.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Rich will fall asleep standing up or sitting at the table, the kitchen table.
I don't think David's done that, but on the couch, I'll be thinking he's watching TV and he's asleep.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I mean, I can fall asleep if I'm super tired, but in general, like when I have to get up for work, it's like I need the gummy.
Yeah.
But you have to lay down at least. No.
Yes, I do lie down. It takes a half an hour, and I lie down and then watch some Law and Order SVU.
Yeah.
And fall asleep to that, and then the boy walks in and goes, "I'm going to bed." I'm like, "Yay!"
Yeah, it's amazing with how men. You know what it is? They just don't think about things like we do. Because all our problems go over and over in our heads, and we're trying to, figure them out, and just, men just clear the whole, what do they call? What was that? Clear the I forget that picture, and he would say clear the mechanism or something like that. That's men.
It's like an etch.
Yeah, and like an etch sketch, they would clear.
They can do that.
Shake it up, and that's it.
Yeah,
done.
So there's nothing there.
Rich, I remember, like he likes to play music, to sleep, and so. I think it was like one of the first times we had a sleepover, and he had Led Zeppelin, No Quarter, like from the song Remains the Same. And like No Quarter goes on and on and on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to it, and I'm singing, and I'm like, like to myself.
And he's asleep.
He's sound asleep.
Of course.
There could be a train going through our bedroom, and it would be like he would be sound asleep. So
I know.
Yeah. And I'd be okay. As soon as he fell asleep, I'd be like, okay, we're turning this off. Because
no, that's when when he falls asleep, he's got like American Dad or something on. I'm like, no, I'm going to turn that channel.
No, that's true. And men can leave it on, the TV on, and sleep through it. I can't do that. I can't.
I don't have a problem with leaving the TV on at all, mind you. I don't. It'll help me. It just zones me out.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it zones me out. So I don't have a problem with that. But it's funny because he'll change the channel when he comes in. I'm like,
and you'll wake up. What did you do? You changed the channel.
Yeah.
Hey, Forensic Files. I've learned how to kill people watching Forensic Files.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that'll be good training, I guess. Huh?
Succinylcholine, baby. Succinylcholine.
You might need that. That might come in handy now.
Yeah, it might come in handy. But I think that talking about sleep, it is all a part of self-care. And this is something that we all are going to have to do. I was listening to Zerlina Maxwell this morning, and I actually
bless her.
I actually cheated on Stephanie, and I called in.
You can always call in on other shows. It's okay. Yes, Anita calls in on Tom Hartman all the time.
I have called in, and not in a while, but I used to call in. That's true. Yes. I cheated on Stephanie long before you did.
All the time. She was a slut. I knew Anita was a slut from day one.
She's a total whore.
Total.
You know what? Okay. You guys caught me.
So anyway, but Zerlina started her show. So Zerlina started her show this morning, and it was just what I needed to hear. And so she started with gratitude. She said, I'm going to start every show with gratitude. And we have got to take care of ourselves. We've got to drink water.
Yeah.
Eat right. Exercise, take care of ourselves, our families, our communities, and protect one another.
That's what I told my brother this morning. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because it is, and she said, we are going to have horrible days ahead. Mm-hmm. Every day is going to be horrible.
But let me ask you something.
We have to be ready for that, but we have to take care of ourselves, because if we're not well, we're not going to be any good to anyone.
No.
Right.
But let me ask you something. Now, as far as like, I've always known what's going on. I mean, I turn on MSNBC every night. I would watch Rachel. I just, Twitter, wherever, different YouTube channels and different podcasts. So what do you think is healthy now? You know what I mean? I want to keep up with what's going on because I want to have some sort of sense of what's going on. I don't want to be just completely oblivious. But I don't want to be like so focused on it that I feel, hopeless.
Yeah.
Right. What do you think, Jody? What do you think?
David today on Bob's show, I cried, but he cried at least 3 times because he's a gay man in Georgia. And so it's, as much as we are a minority, he is more of a minority than we are. And his husband is Puerto Rican. So there's another thing with that. He also has an accent. And David couldn't stop crying for the first 20 minutes he was on the show. Yeah. And we were both, Bob and I were like, we got you, buddy. We got you. We got you. We got you. And then we joked about stuff and it was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we went on to the Sexy Liberal show and meeting everybody and all that stuff. But
what is the right balance is all I'm asking. I don't know.
There is none. I mean, I have to go back to work on.
I know that is your work, though. You have to pay attention to this stuff. I was thinking about that. How does Joy Reid go on the next day and have to talk about this shit? I don't know how they do it. Or you could be like Joe Scarborough and just scream about trans people. I mean, apparently.
What the fuck was that about this morning?
I know.
Seriously.
Well, you know what? That's not what it was. It was economics. And Karen and I have talked about this. The problem is, you know, the media did not do their job telling the story about why we were having inflation. The economy was great. We were the envy of the world.
Yes.
But we had higher prices. We had higher prices because there was a supply chain issue. We just came out of COVID. The whole world was suffering from that. It was a global phenomenon. And I was watching the BBC. I've talked to Karen about this, and they were putting it in that context. They would talk about inflation, but they would talk about what the causes were because we just came out of COVID.
Right.
But yet our media just lazy and stupid. And, you know, they just like, oh, there's high inflation. Everybody's unhappy. The economy, they don't ever tell the story.
No, because their overlords don't want to fucking tell people the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I know. But it's serious. It was everywhere. And then even when I would hear people talk about the economy, even from our side, sometimes I would be on TikTok and somebody would say, you know, they were voting for Kamala Harris because they didn't care if eggs and bread, if the economy sucked. They cared about, you know, other people, and these people, the MAGA or anybody that was voting for Trump, all they cared about was the economy. They didn't care about, you know, making sure that people were treated decently, you know, with respect and decency. But the economy was just kind of always, you know, their narrative, buying into that narrative that the economy was bad. And Kamala Harris and Karen talked about this, you know, we talked about it, how even Kamala Harris, you know, they would ask her, you know, how do you separate yourself from the Biden economy? And
why should she?
That's exactly what Karen said. She should say, why would I do that? Why would I separate myself from $35 insulin? Why would I separate myself from record stock market? Why would I separate myself from record unemployment? Why would I separate myself from the lowest crime since the 1960s? Right. But they never talked, you know, instead they made it sound like it was a bad thing that she had to distance herself from.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
After a miraculous recovery after
Thank you.
Amazing.
Show of fucking pandemic that Donald Trump, I don't give a shit what anybody says when they say, oh no, he didn't, you know, it's not his fault. No, every single fucking death, over 1 million deaths in this country.
7 people I knew personally.
Yes, exactly. And
I
every single one of them on his hands.
Yep.
On his hands.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, my aunt who died because she wouldn't get vaccinated.
Right.
Because she was a Trump voter.
And what the hell is that going to look like now with Bobby Kennedy Jr.?
Bobby Kennedy literally saying, oh, the pandemic wasn't treated right. I'm sorry, you're working for the motherfucker that fucked it up.
Exactly.
Oh my God, I'm just...
Yeah.
He wants
I'm glad I can say motherfucker, by the way.
Yes,
I'm just really glad I can swear.
It does feel good. I mean, I've been cursing a lot more, the last couple of days. Seriously, I just don't know any other way to express myself right now.
I'm with you, Anita.
Yeah.
So fucking lootly. I mean, I remember, the first Trump term or occupation, where I went to a protest. It was like one of the first protests that I went to in Chicago, and there was this little girl, and her sign was "Trump made my mommy swear." And And, and it's like, that's how I feel. I just feel like we are, and that is, for me, that is a release to be able to just like have these conversations and just let it rip. And
I think we're going to have another women's march.
I was going to ask you about that. Karen thinks there's going to be violence if there's a women's march. I don't think so, because a woman, you cannot.
If it's before the inauguration, I think if it's before the inauguration, I'm not sure that we're going to be able to peacefully assemble after he's in.
No, we have to do it on the inauguration day, like we did before.
Yeah.
And you know what? I was with 750,000 of my closest friends in Los Angeles in 2017.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'm thinking like the DC march. I mean, that scares me a little bit.
And I'm
That
worried
doesn't
about
scare me.
Yeah.
Stephanie.
I worry about a march like in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I would be afraid to march here.
Yeah.
But I would
Yeah,
be
honey.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
maybe Austin. But even there, somebody Maya went to school with, some kid in the BLM marches got shot. Not shot.
Yeah.
He got shot by like one of those rubber bullets. But
Right.
now he's brain damaged.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Right.
that
Right.
happened.
Yeah,
That was during the Trump. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, that is what my concern is. And I just don't understand what people don't realize about this. We already saw what this guy was like. We
I know.
saw what he did in Freedom Plaza
know.
with the rubber bullets and the mace or the pepper spray and everything. I don't understand. And I mean, all I'm thinking, and your mind, I'm sure you guys are the same way, just runs wild with everything that he's going to do. I think we can expect military parades down
Yep.
Pennsylvania Avenue.
Yep.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so scared for Ukrainians. For the
Yeah.
Ukrainians.
Oh,
Europe hates us right now.
oh yeah.
Oh my God, they were all on pins and needles waiting for this election, and look what we've. Oh my God, we've disappointed the whole world. They must hate us.
A good friend of mine who is English in 2016 was living in Los Angeles the
Yeah.
day after Clinton lost.
Mhm.
And I was walking, listening to Stephanie, and I saw Ches. I've known him since 1998. And I go, Ches, and he goes, I'm sorry. Hugs.
Yeah.
And we both cried. And then on yesterday, I emailed him. He goes, what is going on with you guys? He moved back to England, by the way, with his wife and children.
I don't blame them.
And he goes, I don't know what's wrong with you. And I said, I don't either. And that's why I keep crying. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I don't. No,
no.
that's what scares me the most is what's going to happen
Yeah.
around the world. I mean, we're forming there's going to be like an axis of evil now.
Yes, there is. It's going to be the United States and Russia and North Korea
maybe
and China and Iran. It's going to be a whole axis of evil.
Yeah.
They're all going to
be
get
part of
along. Oh, and Israel, fucking Netanyahu, fuck that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I mean, I love Israel. I love the people that live there.
Yeah.
But their fucking leader is a fucking piece of shit.
I know.
Yes.
And you know what? Fuck those people that couldn't vote for Kamala because they were.
I know.
Oh my God!
Seriously,
I was
fuck them.
telling Karen there was a guy that went into the Capitol drenched in gasoline and was going to light himself on fire on election day. On election day, what kind of message was he sending?
Right.
Stupid.
I know.
Yeah.
What a fucking idiot.
Well, it's like, honestly, like the people that showed up at the DNC. And I mean, thank goodness it wasn't a bigger thing. But I mean, I have family members that, yes, they're upset about what's going on with the people in Gaza. And they're, and they're not thrilled about, the weapons that, we're sending over there. But I mean, I laid into, it's my dad and my sister who very good hearts, well-intentioned, believe in, peaceful protest, right? And they were going down to the DNC, to that group. And I just said, and I just let into them. And I just said, well, good for you. I hope you fucking feel good. I said, and I didn't say this to my dad, but I said it to my sister. I said,
I remember.
I
She
hope
was
you,
mad.
I was livid. I was shaking. And I said, I go, who are you protesting? I go, why are you going to the DNC? And I asked my dad, I said, did you go to the RNC a month ago up in Milwaukee? And he was like, what? And I was like, Dad, I go, why are you protesting the Democrats? The Democrats are not the problem. I know that you're angry about it, and you have sent letters to President Biden urging for a ceasefire and to stop sending aid over there. I said, Joe Biden is stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Oh, yes, definitely.
He had to respond. He had to respond. That terror attack, by Hamas, they had to have a response. And
Absolutely.
Our long-standing U.S. policy has been to come to the
stand
aid
by
of
Israel.
our
ally.
And yes, our ally and the only democracy in the Middle East. So I'm sorry. It's like, and now you motherfuckers that voted for Jill Stein or, withheld your vote.
Or Sheeta Tlaib, who didn't endorse Kamala.
Yeah.
Sending a message to Michigan.
Yep. So now, guess what? It's all bets are off now.
They signed their death warrants is what they did.
Yeah. Netanyahu. And there was this video with with Pete Buttigieg, and he was trying to talk
oh my God, I couldn't watch that.
undecided voters, right? And he's talking to this one girl, and she says she's going to vote for Jill Stein because she cares more about the environment than Kamala does.
Oh my God.
I know. I swear to God, that was our reaction.
And Pete and Mayor Pete,
he's so calm, and
he's so brilliant.
I know.
So brilliant.
Oh my God, I love him.
And he did bring up, how Trump will roll back, to completely do away with clean water and air protections, and pull us out of the Paris Accord. But what I really was hoping that he would say is, listen, I understand, that you would like to have this third party person to vote for, and you would like a different, whatever, ranked choice voting. More.
We don't have that.
We don't have that. There's an electoral college.
There are two parties.
And there's no fucking path in a presidential election to 270.
The last third party was the Republican Party after the Whigs. So,
yeah, exactly.
Even Teddy Roosevelt couldn't win on the third party ticket.
Thank you. And he was a great president.
And he was a former president, yeah.
He was a good one. He was a progressive Republican.
Monopoly buster, and,
He was an amazing president.
Yeah, he was a very good president.
All the Roosevelts, good presidents.
Yeah, good presidents.
Definitely.
And then, of course, the party of Lincoln goes through the Southern strategy. And that's the other thing that drives me crazy, that the media never pushes back on any of these guys. They're not the party of Lincoln. There's nothing about them that's the party of Lincoln anymore. They
haven't been for a long time.
No,
Ike was the last good Republican.
Yeah. Well, yes, he was. But he was, I don't even know if he didn't really, I'm not sure if he was really Republican. He kind of picked that party. He wasn't really a Democrat or Republican, from what I understand. He wasn't like, oh, I'm a Republican, I'm gonna run as a Republican.
I would have voted for him in a New York minute because he was a good president. And he was the last, quote, Republican that was not. Ronald Reagan fucked us up. And I'm going to start with Ronald Reagan. I got to meet him. Nice fella.
Well, Richard Nixon.
Nixon was not. No, we're going to go with Reagan because of Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid and all the bullshit that he did.
Trickle down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, Nixon was horrible, but we all knew that.
Right.
But he did start the clean water, clean air.
He did do that. He was EPA guy. Yay!
Yeah, he did. He did. He resigned. He did resign.
He did resign. I had to watch that as a child.
I did. Yeah, I remember that very clearly.
We were. It was in the summer, and we were.
August.
Yes, it was in the August of 74.
74.
Yeah. And so we were at my parents'. We had it. I'm sorry. My parents were rich, so we had a beach house.
No, really?
And we were at the beach house, and my parents said to me and my older sister, my baby sister, you got to watch this. So we had to watch him resign.
Yeah.
I remember the curtain and all of that, and I'm leaving, and we were all like, really? Because I was like 6.
I heard it on the radio. I didn't.
No, I had to watch it, and it was like, oh, I'm so bored.
Yeah.
But as an adult, I'm like, thank you, parents, for making me watch that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
I would have been.
I remember
would have
hearing
been
Watergate
9.
in the background. I remember
Yeah.
hearing Watergate in the
Oh
background.
my God, I remember driving down riding down the Eisenhower Expressway, and there was a big impeach Nixon, graffiti.
Yeah.
Side. I
Oh,
remember
we had
that.
impeach Earl Warren signs here, and it was an old sign, but I can remember seeing an impeach. Earl Warren was the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court
Yeah.
that ruled on the was it Plessy versus Ferguson?
Yes,
And,
it was.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and so he was not liked in the South.
No.
So yeah.
No, I mean,
that.
Joe Wine-Banks, when I've talked to her about it, I'm like, oh, no, I remember Nixon resigning. She goes, of course you do, because she helped do that.
Yes. She was a hot young lawyer back then.
Little hottie, with the mini skirt and the blonde hair.
So cute. And she's still so cute.
She is.
She's the best.
She's the best. I get to hang out with her because she's always asking.
She's
me
a
to come
Chicago
to
girl.
These little to like Jan Schakowsky's Power Lunch, and she'll invite me to different things, and so I love her. She is one of the sweetest people.
She's very lovely.
Yes, I mean,
and I love her pins.
Gorgeous.
Her pins always. I used to have a hat with pins on it, but it was all band stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder what pin she's wearing right now.
The Save America? I don't know.
I don't know. A trash dump? I mean, I don't know.
Oh my God. I have a friend of mine's daughter who literally wore a trash going, F you trash people. And her parents voted for Trump.
Oh God.
Oh my God. You know what? I just can't with people that vote for. I cannot have anything to do with them.
Nope.
I mean, I'm sorry. When I heard Stephanie talk about, they say we talk down to them.
No, we don't.
No, we do not. We do not understand how you could vote. You are the ones, or you just, throwing this in our face, and it's just such an insult. They're supporting a guy that raped somebody, that is as a sexual predator, who's a criminal, who's. I mean, what are we supposed to? We're supposed to be. We're looking down at them when we bring that up and we say, "Hey, how can you vote for a rapist?"
Right. Well, we're baby killers. Like, did you hear that asshole that called in yesterday? A troll.
Oh no, Lonnie was like, "Did you hear that?" And I'm like, I just don't remember it because I was very sad. So
yeah.
But Lonnie's like, "Oh, baby killer," because he actually Lonnie years ago answered phones when Yanira couldn't do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he got baby killer stuff.
Oh God.
Yeah. All the time.
It's always it's mostly men. Did you
totally men. Never women.
Nick Fuentes,
Never women.
Your body, my choice.
Oh.
Yeah, he's an incel, so F him.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry, fuck him.
He's a gay incel. I mean, he's got that little boy toy that goes around with him.
We think he's gay. We don't know.
I'm pretty sure he is. He was watching gay porn, remember? And they caught him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's a gay that can't get laid with boys at this point. So he's totally incel.
He's totally. Very frustrating. I just wish they would just go out and get laid and leave us the fuck alone.
Okay, well, you
pay for somebody. Just pay for somebody. You can pay for somebody to fuck you. It's not that hard. It's like 50, 70, $200? Just do it.
Do it. Have at it. Leave us
true.
the fuck alone.
You know what? We will pay them for you. Okay.
At this point, I'm ready.
Okay.
Just so you'll, I don't know, get laid so you'll get, be happy or something.
Feel a pussy or an ass or whatever you want. Just go.
Just
get laid.
Just do it. Yeah. Well, I was talking about, so we were, told there was all this excitement and people charged up because of the abortion issue. And so with these Republican voting women, I mean, I do not know what they were watching.
The split voting is insane to me.
But Karen made a great point. Tell her about that.
Oh, about how they separated abortion out from Donald Trump, right? So when they had the ballot initiatives, these women thought that they could vote for the initiative and then still vote for Donald Trump because
and every other Republican.
Yes, and every other Republican. So it
was actually worse. It
Well,
made it
yeah,
worse.
and so I was
Yeah.
talking. I was actually mentioning that to Zerlina,
Mhm.
and I said, and she said she was. I think that is something that we needed to clarify, maybe, and let people know that even if that is on the ballot in your state, and you're in a red state that has a complete abortion ban or just even a partial abortion ban, that because of Project 2025 and what they want to do with the Comstock Act, it doesn't matter. If you are in a state that has it written into your constitution, you're not safe. We will not be safe here in Illinois, right?
Nobody will be safe. But
Nobody will
you know
be
what?
safe.
I don't think you can separate it. I don't think we, will be able to explain it that well. There are too many people that don't pay attention.
Well, and at this point, it's too fucking late.
And maybe they
know?
could do it. Yes, it's too late. But from now on, maybe you could do it separately. I don't know if you can have the ballot initiative a separate election. They did it for Kansas. They did it for
Well,
Ohio.
And what do you think our elections are going to look like? I mean, that's what people are like, oh, well, when we the midterms, or, we have to turn out in the midterms to make sure that, but I'm like, what is that going to look like? They've talked about him being a dictator day one, that he's going to invoke the Insurrection Act, do the unitary executive theory, okay, and just roll through our constitution and dismantle our constitution. And
But I think the midterms, honestly, Donald Trump is so self-involved. He doesn't really care about anything else. And he doesn't know how. It would be very complicated. That would be a very complicated thing for them to do.
I don't think it's going to be complicated
In Republican states, but in states like yours or in states like California, I guarantee you, what's his name? Governor Pringles? What's his name? Your governor.
Pritzker.
Pritzker. And Gavin Newsom, of course.
Well,
I know
Gavin,
California.
yeah, and I think Governor Newsom is actually putting, some safeties in.
He is trying.
He's trying to, but Anita, I'm not sure of anything. I think that.
Well, we don't know. You're right.
We don't know. I mean,
I'm with you, Karen.
We've never been here. Okay, but all we can do is kind of try to have hope. And try to, and not just have, empty hope. Like, we have to try to come up with some strategies and
keep talking.
Keep talking about it. And look, Donald Trump is going to fuck everything up. You know what? He just is. The tariff thing. From what I understand, he can put those tariffs on all by himself. I remember Hal was talking about it when I mentioned it. He said, well, nobody will do that. Congress, I guess, won't allow it or something. He can do that all by himself. And he's convinced the tariffs are the way to go.
Right.
Okay. So tariffs can be good unless
strategic
you do it stupid. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That can be good. But what he's wanting to do is going to make everybody that voted for him feel pain.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to cost. Everything's going to cost. I mean, a lot more. If you were upset about inflation, Donald Trump, Donald Trump says, hold my beer.
Yeah, hold my beer. And by the way, they seem to be able to afford, $400 sneakers.
Yeah. And $400 sneakers, $100,000 watches, going to, they're always like, they're buying all his bullshit, all his shit, all the stuff, the craps that what is that? Those trading card things, what are they called?
NFTs.
NFTs. Yes. Oh my God. They go to all his stupid rallies. Mm-hmm. They,
they're dumb.
Yeah, they're very dumb. The economy is booming. People are going to concerts. They're going traveling. People are traveling more than ever. They're going to the movies. They're going to concerts. They're just.
But apparently it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks, right? And everybody's complaining because they have to pay $1 more for eggs.
Yeah.
And it's Joe Biden's fault.
Right. No. Well, just wait. What's going to happen with those, cost of eggs. And
do you see it looks like a knife coming out of my head?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Can you see that?
I do.
It's just weird.
It keeps appearing.
And there's a little guitar player right there.
Yeah.
Well, even the tariffs that he did last time.
Yeah.
And Karen used to talk about it because she was working in that furniture store, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And everything was more expensive.
Yeah.
24% of farms went bankrupt because of that. Y'all know that?
Yeah.
So, and he bailed out. And most of that stuff was going to those big ag farms,
Yes.
So
not small farmers.
Not small mom and pop farms. Yes.
No. God, no.
just like the PPE. That's who's going to be looked out for under Trump.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't understand that. I think she should have pushed more she should have talked more. And she ran a flawless campaign, honestly.
She was amazing. She was amazing.
Yeah. 100 days, and she ran a fantastic campaign. It was so
she
organized.
did.
She was always on message. She just did a great job. But and he ran a shitty campaign, the worst campaign I've ever seen that could even be imagined. And yet it didn't matter.
No,
people are fucked up, and it's misogyny and racism.
Yeah, definitely misogyny. I mean, that's the first thing Maya and I said to each other, that America hates women.
Yeah.
And Black women in particular.
Well, Black women scare them even more. Yes.
Yeah.
So she, and we were afraid of that from the very beginning. But, what are we going to do? Always be afraid? Because,
No.
We need to be concerned. We need to be vigilant. We need to stay woke, and we need to be active, and we need to not be afraid, not be paralyzed with fear,
and try to work with local groups, local whatever, indivisibles or something like that.
Yes,
that you can get involved with, and for climate change.
Absolutely.
That scares the fuck out of me too.
Mm-hmm.
Texas, baby.
I know. God, Texas is the worst.
I'm sorry, honey. Can we get you here?
I wish, honestly. I mean, San Antonio, it's just, we're stuck in Texas, but San Antonio is a nice city.
It is.
A nice city.
Austin is great.
Yep. Houston, Dallas. I mean, people complain about Houston, but it's the music's great, the food's great. It's a big city, okay?
I was just in Austin for my nephew's funeral, so loved it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, honey, it was very sad. He was only 38.
Oh no. And he lived in Austin?
He did. And his sister and I have a same thing with our siblings. She lost her siblings, and his mom gets my mom and his grandmother's, so it's a whole thing, and it's just
that's really hard.
He would have loved you guys, by the way. He was such a mensch. He was just the best. His name was Dalton Hamilton, and
that's a great name.
He was the best. And I knew him when he was in his womb, when his bio mom's womb. And his bio mom is not his mother. His better mother is his mother. Mm-hmm. It was August when he died in July.
Of last year or just this
year?
Wow.
And it was diabetes.
Oh no.
Oh wow.
Really?
He couldn't get the medication. Hi, Texas. Hi, Texas.
I know. Oh my God. What do you mean he couldn't get the medication?
Yeah.
Because Jesus fucking Christ. Is that because my husband's diabetic and we've had trouble getting the medication here?
It was Texas, baby. It was Texas.
Oh my God.
And in Austin.
That scares the shit out of me because I've had to call everywhere trying to find it. David's had to go without it before.
Yeah, no, that's what Dalton had to do. And his wife, they had only been married 2 years. And she was out of town to do other things. And she couldn't contact him. And
oh my God.
When the paramedics got there, he was bleeding.
Oh
my God.
Oh God.
It was just, he was the nicest human I've ever known. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No,
that's just,
Jody,
we're sorry. I'm sorry.
We're right there with you. And and this is the kind of thing that I'm just dreading because we all know that.
I know that's going to kind of happen to a lot more people.
We deal with all of these everyday things, everyday challenges, loss. You know, we
I know.
went through this already, and that's why it makes me all of the more angry. You know, we saw our loved ones die, whether it was directly from COVID or you know, as a complication. You know, like my mom, I lost her in 2020.
My cousin died during COVID.
Me
Yeah,
too. My cousin
Yeah.
died. Exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it was
like,
awful. Couldn't go there. It
No.
was just surreal.
We
The whole
couldn't
thing.
we couldn't have a service. You know, it was, I think they had opened it up to like 25%.
Oh, and
Yeah.
Dalton's grandmother died in 2020, and he couldn't go there because I couldn't go there, and it's like a
Right.
whole.
Oh,
It's
God.
just we've been robbed. We have been, and we
Yep.
haven't even, you know, I was talking about it. I go, we haven't even dealt with the PTSD and the emotional and trauma.
I think
of
that's
that.
yes, I think that's why a lot of people feel
Yes.
so unhappy about the direction of the country is because we just came out of COVID and we are having PTSD.
Yes.
We're all suffering. Like your mother died. You talked about your cousin and my cousin, and I mean, it was just very traumatic. It was traumatic for a lot of young people. It was traumatic for people. We were stuck at home. I thought we were all going to die.
I know.
And then that motherfucker's gonna put RFK in the fucking.
Oh my God, we are all going to die.
HHS.
A bird flu, monkey. Who knows?
I mean,
no, it is.
It's so gross. I mean, he's
so
scary.
Scary. So fucking scary. And I mean, you know, I was telling Anita, so yesterday, you know, and like kind of to that point, yesterday, so we came back from LA and I was so worried about my kitty Loki because
I know.
he's
This has got me.
The baby.
15.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had to like plunk down a bunch of money about 2.5 weeks ago, right? And I had to give him subcutaneous fluids, and I had to, you know, give him medication, you know, for constipation and all this. And, you know, he's just, you know, he's got little arthritic hips, and, you know, he's just moving a little slow, and he follows me around like a puppy. And every time I sit down, he's got to be on my lap. You know how that is, Jody. You get trapped in Anita, you know, too.
Yeah, my dogs are kind of big but they do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But, you know, and they, you know, and it's like, yeah, I'm not going to move. But anyway, so when we went to LA for the 5 days, just 5 days, and, you know, my kids were checking on him and making sure, feeding him, and he was eating, and he's using the litter box and everything. When I came home, he can't, his hind legs are collapsing. I had to bring him to the vet yesterday, and I'm like just dealing with this aftermath.
Yeah.
And
oh my God, it was election day. That day.
I'm angry. I'm numb. I'm worried. I'm like, now just everything that it goes with it. And then I'm watching Lawrence O'Donnell last night. I turn it on, and he's replaying Kamala Harris's, you know, concessions.
Beautiful speech.
It was, but I couldn't listen to it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I had to listen to, you know, Stephanie play it.
But panning over the crowd of these young women and
oh my God,
just bawling,
crying,
soaked with tears. And I just lost it. I started wailing. I was wailing like it was a death. You know, just that full body wailing. And my husband is just looking at me. I couldn't stop crying.
I feel like when my mom died, I swear to God, I feel that much pain. My mother died suddenly. She was only 48, and she had a brain hemorrhage, and it was just really horrible. But this is just that painful. This is just that painful.
Yeah,
it is.
It is. I said to my mom yesterday morning or Wednesday morning, whatever the fuck day it is.
Yeah.
I said, I'm glad my dad and Carrie and Dana and so many siblings, they're not here.
Yeah, they don't have to go through it.
I'm just glad they were not here because my mom was like, you're right. I'm glad Carrie's not here. I'm glad that, you know, Joey and Jeff and Judy and Jenny, and it's a whole thing.
Well, you know, I'm worried about my daughter. My daughter's 25 and living in Texas. It's very scary here because, first of all, it's not so easy to just leave the state. Like,
of course,
you know, Texas is very big.
No.
And I'm sure, like Kate Cox did, we would find a way. But my God, I can't believe that we would have to do that. I'm scared to death for her to ever get pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm seriously, I think about that because if it's between my daughter's life and her fetus, I want them to choose my daughter. But in Texas,
Thank
they
you.
won't.
Yeah.
They won't.
It's
They
a
won't.
life-threatening condition. That's what it is now.
Pregnancy is. Yes, pregnancy is.
Yeah.
Yep, in Texas. I don't know. I don't understand why any woman would want to get pregnant in Texas right now. But I guess it's just, you think it's not going to be you.
No.
But I had a bad pregnancy. I was bleeding. Anyway, it's just very scary.
No. And then in Georgia, you hear the story about the mother of the one little, I think was a little boy, and who went out of the state to get an abort
She went to North Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah, to get some medication, right? And then she came back home and had complications from it and bled out right there. And that was from 2021. Can you imagine? I mean, and who knows if we're ever going to see the records of how many women have died.
Well, the death rate for women, the maternal death rate has gone up 50%, 56% here in Texas. They just had that 19-year-old. There were two women. I don't know the full story, but I forget. It was in ProPublica about the second woman. But the first woman was only 19, and she had just had her baby shower. She was trying to have this baby.
She wanted the baby.
She wanted this baby. And she ended up, and her mother was begging them, do something. And she died. For 40 hours, she suffered.
Yeah.
And she died, a 19-year-old.
Right.
Here in Texas, they let that happen.
And she wanted the baby.
She wanted that baby.
Yep.
Oh, my God. And then there was another mother, a woman, I think this was in Georgia, who the doctor told her, I think she had 3 kids. And the doctor told her, do not get pregnant again.
Yes.
Because it will kill you. And she got pregnant again, but he had told her that before. And she got pregnant again. And guess what it did? She couldn't have an abortion. So she ended up having to go through with the pregnancy, and it killed her. Mother of 3.
Yep.
A pregnancy is very dangerous.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
it is very dangerous. Anything can happen. When you're pregnant, you're very vulnerable.
Yep. Miscarriages, and I mean
blood pressure shit. I mean, it's a whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Preeclampsia.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. I had a friend in college whose wife had to be bedridden for 7 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to be bedridden too because I had placenta previa.
See? Yeah. And that's what she was doing. It was like 1985, I think.
No.
It was early, because we didn't, take care of people then. But she was literally in bed for 7 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dangerous because you can just bleed out and die if you're not close to a hospital, especially.
Yeah.
Because if you live, I remember I used to work at a hospital with pregnant women. We had a gym. It was called the Pregnant Gym. We had some women that lived outside of Texas in the country. I mean, outside of San Antonio. And they would have to be helicoptered in or they would die if they didn't get to a hospital in time.
Yeah.
No, I mean, my friend, when she was she was a little skinny little lady girl, and her husband, who I went to school with, he's like, we're married now, and she couldn't get out of bed for 7 fucking months.
Yeah.
To give birth to a healthy baby, they did.
Yes.
It's like, seriously, how can you work?
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah, I was probably not that long because I had my daughter early, probably about 4 or 5 months, but I was put in bed and we put in an intercom system so that I could, tell, hey, David, bring me this, bring me that. But I was bedridden.
Yeah. No. And and that's not even to mention, Anita, you were talking about your daughter not being able to even find a gynecologist.
She could not find she could not find one. It was months. She had to make an appointment for months in advance and in Waco it was worse.
Yeah.
When she lived in Waco, it was worse. So we finally found one for her, and just for I won't say, but for something she needed, not for OB. I don't understand why any OBGYN would work in Texas, honestly.
No. Well, and they're leaving, right?
They're leaving
leaving.
Idaho.
They're
They're leaving Texas. They're leaving the places where they cannot do their jobs.
They can't take care of their patients the way they, they take an oath to take care of their patients.
Yes.
Harm none,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And imagine you're like that 19-year-old girl, she was, dying, and the doctors there could not do anything when all it would have taken was a simple procedure.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Simple, and they sat there and watched her die. Or that other woman in Georgia, all they needed to do was a DNC.
Yes.
Right.
And she sat there, and her blood pressure was dropping. Her organs were failing, and then they finally did it, and it was too late. They had to wait till she was almost dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then she died.
She died. The girl, the 19-year-old here in Texas, they had to wait till the heart stopped beating, so there was no fetal heartbeat, and that's why she died.
How is that pro-life? They're just.
It's not pro-life.
They don't care about life.
It's not pro-life.
Right. Any exception, and Anita says this all the time, any exception gives the game away. It's not
exactly.
About life.
Yeah.
Exception is not about that. It's about women being invaded.
Yeah.
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 Basically.
Yeah.
Rape or incest is just fuck that shit.
Well, if they say, we'll let you have an abortion for rape or incest. First of all, it's bullshit, because you would have to go to court. All these other things would have to happen.
I know.
And then second of all, they give the game away, because if they really thought it was life, why would it be okay in the instances of rape or incest? The reason why they say it's okay is because they just want to control what women do. In other words, if they didn't get pregnant on purpose, if they weren't being a slut, then okay. It was rape.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's government control. It is government control of our bodies, and that is all it is. And I remember I was at a protest here in Chicago, and this woman is, we're walking through Grant Park, and this woman is just, she's standing there with her teenage daughter, and she's just shaking her head, and she's like, "It's murder." She starts like saying to me, and you're not really even supposed to talk to the people on the side, but I go, "It is not murder." And I said, "Let me ask you a question." I said, if there's a woman and she's 32 weeks pregnant, I used to do ultrasound, and I scanned a woman where there was fetal demise. Okay. Are you telling me that you're going to force that woman to carry a dead fetus to term where she could become septic? And she just said, she was, "My daughter, I had my daughter. When I was 16 years old, I had my daughter, and I could have aborted her, and I didn't." I said, and thank God you didn't, because she's beautiful, but that was your choice.
They're not making them carry dead fetuses, though.
What's that?
The fetal, they wait till if there's a fetal heartbeat, they say you can't have an abortion. Here, this is the way it is here in Texas.
Exactly. But when there's a complete, and you know what? I mean, like they can parse it out whatever they want, whatever they want. If you have a risk management, if you have a legal department at any one of these places, and they make that determination, even if there is an exception, they're saying we can't take the risk.
Yep.
No, not take on that risk.
Fucking lawyers.
I know. Well, that's exactly right. The doctors here are not taking the risk. They're letting women die because they're afraid.
Right.
So you're going to have to go before a board to figure out whether or not this woman is actually going to die if you don't perform an abortion. Yeah. In the meantime, she's dying. She's dead.
Right. I mean, I can't even imagine they already have the malpractice, insurance, right? That they have to contend with. And now here you are facing possible, criminal
jail, 99 years here. 99 years.
No. So it doesn't fucking matter what the exceptions say, because
the exceptions don't fucking matter.
Yeah, they're bullshit. Yeah.
And fuck the exceptions, because you know what? If you need to not have a pregnancy, just not have a pregnancy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If you don't want to have an abortion, don't have an abortion.
Right.
Exactly.
And they're going after birth control next.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, they will go after birth control.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the boys,
Yeah.
rubbers are on your thing.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I've heard that they're actually going to do ban
The Comstock
condoms.
Act.
Yes.
Yeah.
Comstock
Condoms.
Act. You
Yeah.
will not
Yeah.
get your rubbers, motherfuckers. So,
Right,
Well,
right.
there won't be any porn either. So.
Yeah.
oh God,
yeah.
no porn. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, these assholes did not realize what they were voting for.
They have no
No.
idea what's coming.
No, there was this one. Bob tweeted it. Did you see that tweet that Bob did? That girl at ASU
Yeah.
that said that she voted for Trump because he's gonna he's gonna reinstate Roe.
Oh no, he's just she just said, I'm happy he's just gonna be like a states guy.
You know what? That's what we need to explain to these people better. Because what Donald Trump was doing apparently was effective.
It was very effective.
Yeah, it was effective with these kind of low information voters.
Yep.
And we have to do a better job of explaining, no, it's a right. Slavery. Did you think slavery or segregation should be a states' rights issue?
Oh
No.
my God, slavery was approved on my California ballot.
Right.
What the fuck is that about?
Yeah. What the fuck is that about? Honestly.
See, that's crazy. Oh my God.
Prop 6 was like, oh, we'll get rid of that, but not that. It's like,
God
what the
damn.
fuck?
What was it, Alabama that just
Christ.
made it slavery illegal in their constitution?
Yay
Because-
for
yeah.
Alabama.
Yeah,
Wow.
they take a while. I think it was Alabama, Mississippi. It was one of those states.
No, California just did a thing like, oh, we don't want slavery out of our constitution.
Wow.
California
Yeah.
sucks right now.
Right. So because I know that like with undocumented workers, right? That there's wage theft that can happen or whatever. So
Yes.
Yes.
basically that kind of covers that, doesn't it? Like
It kind of does, because it's like, okay, you can basically, it was like, we don't want slavery, but if you're in a prison,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
we'll get that work
Make it
from
work
you.
out in chain gangs. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
They do that in Alabama and Texas too. They have them making, licenses and working out in the fields.
What the fuck were we doing?
In California, they allow them to, work to fight the fires, right?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
They do pay them, but seriously,
But it's
like,
very minimal.
yes,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just sucks.
I know that's not right. I know it's not right, but the whole we need that whole criminal
That's
justice.
a whole
system.
thing that
Yeah,
we
that's a
have to
whole-
just
Yeah, right
Oh my
now.
a
God.
whole
we have to try-
other different thing.
right now we have to just kind of try to save what we can as far as democracy.
Yeah. So when Kamala Harris says, okay, so we are going to we're conceding the election, but we're not going to concede the fight.
Right.
What I would like to ask both of you, what do you think that looks like? Is that democratic leadership, organizing? Is that because my frustration a lot of times with a lot of these the organizing bodies or going and protesting is there's all these different factions that want to push their own.
They have their own little thing. Yeah,
They have
their own agenda.
little thing, right? Instead of just coming together, and if we're marching for our lives, we're marching for our lives. If we're, if it's for abortion, care, reproductive rights, we're focusing on that. We're not talking about some other fringe issue,
Well, like the women's march.
Right,
But
right. So yeah, exactly. With the women's march, because that was all over the place. But it was, but I think that there was a lot of a central theme of
Women's freedom
women's issues.
for women.
Yes, freedom for women. So
I think
what
we need to do that again.
I do
Freedom.
too. So, but what do you
Yeah,
think
I
that
do
looks
too.
like, Jody? What do you think as far as like the Democratic Party organizing, coalescing together to get, to work on protecting America?
I have no clue, honey. I just, whoever tells me to do it, I'm gonna go downtown
Right.
and do my thing.
Right.
I'm scared for Adam Schiff. I'm scared
am
for Nancy
too.
Pelosi.
Yeah.
I'm scared for a lot of these people, Eric Swalwell, anybody that's got a target on their back.
Yeah.
They all do, and
I don't really care that much about Liz Cheney, honestly.
but you know what?
I do care about that.
God bless her.
By the way, I want to say something about Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney's always been a real she's pro-life, still called pro-life. And it's even said, some pretty absurd, horrible things like, we want abortion up to the 9.
She's gone she went left of there
but
now.
she has gone left now after seeing the ramifications of outlawing abortion. It's across, it's
so good for her.
Yeah, good for her. But this is what it takes. And I'm hoping, I hate to say this because people are going to die. Women are going to die. Things are going to happen.
They will.
Yeah,
but
they will.
That's the only way. 26,000 women in Texas, and probably more by now. This was from last year.
Right.
Had to give birth to their rapist baby here.
Ugh.
Think about that.
Nick Fuente said, I'm going to control your body now.
Yeah, your body, my choice is what he said, right?
Jesus Christ.
And he's an incel, so fuck that guy. He's never going to get fucked in his life because he's a fucking incel. So
yeah.
Right.
Probably not even a man. I don't know. Who knows?
He's an incel, closeted gay guy.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
And, it's just like, again, just, that's fine. Whatever, like Hale says, whatever yucks your yum, and that's
he
what
says it's
about.
Gross, though. He says sex is gross. He doesn't understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't get it.
No.
Sex is fun, and it's also gross. It's fun.
But the way he said it was kind of like weird. He was like, "Ooh, why would a woman?" I mean, it was just gross. He's just gross.
He's gross.
He is gross, and he's so. All of these guys. I mean, you've got Matt Gaetz talking about all the women that care about abortion are all ugly or something like that.
Yeah.
Look at these guys. Look at these.
My brother said something about, that some of the analysis afterwards, was like, these young men don't feel like they're being heard or whatever. And I said, you know what? Fuck that shit. It's like they couldn't vote for Kamala Harris because to protect the women in their lives. They couldn't, I don't give a shit. Whatever. What is their issue? What is so terrible in their life that they are willing to sacrifice
Karen,
women?
They're white men, so they think that any little thing that makes inconvenient for them is terrible.
Right.
Any inconvenience for white men, anybody that comes and criticizes them, I didn't realize how much of a bunch of little whiny little bitches most white men are, but they really
oh my God,
are.
They're little snowflakes.
They really are. Oh my God.
They're so marginalized,
because white men have no control over this country.
No, they're not heads of anything.
No, God, no.
They've never held any power. I mean, I've heard some of the most, and I know we all have heard some of the most absurd things. Like I don't talk about this all the time. This idiot, he calls himself a recovering liberal, and he goes to the Oak Park Public Library, and he has a problem with the fact that they hired a director of diversity, and then they have a mural up, and nobody looks like him. No, there's
no white man.
How dare that happen?
Just because everything else looks like him.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It's just like, look at the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
Independence. It looks just like, look at the 12 disciples and look at the Jesus. And I mean, everything looks like you, dude. That's the problem.
Right.
Well, every time anybody else is represented.
Right.
Do they not notice that this is what I mean by they're just a bunch of whiny little bitches. God forbid, other people get representation.
Yeah. Yeah.
God forbid.
They think it's a zero-sum game.
Yep.
They do.
Exactly right.
So what do they say with oppression or no equality is they think it's oppression. To them.
Yeah.
Equality equals suppression to them.
Yeah. Well, because they think that we're going to do what they did to us.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yes. Equality feels like oppression to them. Yes.
Well, isn't that the big, the big trope that, oh my God, if we, do these things, put Black people in power or whatever, they're going to exact retribution. They're going to get back at us for, slavery. And it's like, who the fuck thinks like that? What is wrong with
they do?
White men who are terrified. That's what it is.
Because they know what pieces of shit they've been to everybody.
Exactly. Right. And they're terrified that it's going to get turned on them.
Yeah, that we're going to be just like they are. That we feel this. That we're the same type of people, but we're not.
We're not.
No, we're not.
We are not those same people. Like,
Mm-mm.
give us equality. You're going to be fine. White boys.
Yes.
You're going to be fine.
You will lose nothing.
You will lose nothing. We'll be fine. Everybody will be fine.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers.
Right.
I'm sorry. It's like, that's for Karen.
That's all right. Get it out, Jody. Get it out of your system, really. You need to. We all do.
No, and we do. We have to feel the feelings when we're feeling them, and like cry, laugh when we can. I mean, my kids came over last night. They know. I mean, they were like, "Mom, can we come over? We'll bring alcohol." And I was like, "Yeah." So they came over and we're
watching.
Girl.
Yes, I was like, "Yeah."
And so we were watching reruns of The Office, and we were just laughing.
Oh my God!
It just felt so good to laugh, and even in the midst of all of it. But it is one of those things where then that it's kind of swoops
in the background.
Yes, and it swoops in, and it's just like, and you just get this nauseating feeling in your stomach.
Yep.
But I'm like,
you have to do that. I've been watching White Lotus because everybody keeps telling me how great it is.
I love White Lotus. It's so good.
Oh my God, it's so good. And there were so many funny parts. What's that actress's name that she's kind of drunk all the time? The blonde.
Oh, Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah. She played.
Oh God.
Yes. Oh my God, she's so funny. When that couple, Shane and his Rachel, when they're supposed to go on that romantic cruise, and but this other woman's gonna be on there. She's gonna be quiet as a mouse. She just wants that.
Now Jennifer Coolidge is brilliant in that show.
Not Jennifer Coolidge. It's not Jennifer Coolidge. The one that's her name. I thought Jennifer Coolidge was that kind of pretty brunette.
No, Jennifer Coolidge is the blonde, kind of heavy set lady.
Yes, heavy set. Okay. Yeah. She's up there. You remember the scene where she's going to throw her mother's ashes over the boat as a boat, and they're all standing there, and she's like sobbing and screaming and telling them their story about what a total bitch her mother was.
Yes.
They're trying to have this like romantic dinner, and he set the whole thing up like that. I mean, I just thought that made me laugh so hard. I was so happy for that. Because I hadn't laughed either. I was feeling, totally depressed, almost suicidal.
You need to watch Pomerelle with my mom, who's in a coma.
I have started watching that. Yes, I have.
My mom is in a coma for like 4 episodes.
I know. I just started watching that. I need to start. Actually, I need to finish it now because now I have. Well, with the election, I stopped watching a lot of things. Yeah. But I had started watching that. I really liked it.
Oh my God, my mom is so funny in a coma.
Yes, I know. Oh my God.
I mean, seriously, she's in a fucking coma.
Yeah,
that lady has quite the career ahead of her. She
got an Emmy.
She's going to be good.
She is going to be good. Oh.
She's going to be good. She lost the Emmy to somebody else, but
but she got a nomination. I mean,
she
seriously.
did, and Hannah, I Byrne, whatever her last name is Lorraine Newman's daughter, and Lorraine Newman literally DM'd me like, "Your mom lost it," and I'm like, "So did your daughter."
That was mean.
No, Lorraine was like, "Your mom lost the Emmy." I'm like, "No, so did your daughter," and I'm upset about that. So
you're upset. Oh, you meant it like that in a nice way.
And Meryl Streep, I think, won it because she was great
on Murders in the Building.
I think she won it, but it's Meryl Streep, for fuck's sake.
Right. Have you been watching Murders in the Building?
I have not watched it in a couple of seasons, so I need to watch it again.
The last season with Meryl Streep is actually is the best, I thought. The last 2 seasons, I think she's in.
She's a red? Yeah. Karen, she's a little red on me.
Yeah, but it's not that noticeable. It's not bad.
Who?
It really isn't. Yeah. It really isn't.
You should use the video for me because that way I could watch you guys.
You could turn. Yeah, you could turn on your video.
Well, now I'm not going to.
I love being on this show. Put me on again.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, we're going to need each other. Absolutely. And
I know.
Yeah, I just
definitely we should have these kind of sessions.
Yes.
Every couple months. Yes.
It was I'm going to say it was very upsetting to me this morning, and I'm not when Stephanie said that she was thinking about suicide yesterday.
I know. That was
And
really.
That,
But there's a lot of people like that, Karen, right now.
I know.
Oh, honey,
I know.
somebody just did commit suicide. A trans person
God.
just
Oh
did.
my God. Oh my God. And that's the most vulnerable people,
Oh my
definitely.
God. I was talking to my clients who are, I consider very dear friends. They kind of started as clients and then turned into really good friends, and gay couple. And I helped them buy a house together, and they're so excited, and they're like, setting it up and decorating and redoing the kitchen and everything. And they send me all these pictures. And he texted me yesterday, and he just said, "How are you doing?" And I said,
Mhm.
"Not good." And
Not good.
I said, "And I'm sure just as poorly as you are." And I said, "I am." So I called him, and he couldn't pick up the phone, and I left him a message, and I just said, "I am here for you. I will absolutely, anytime you want to call, anytime, whatever you need to do." And he called me back, and he was in tears. And I just said, I don't care what happens. We're going to stay. We're going to stay, and I'm going to fight. I understand if you guys need to go. And I mean, because I'm telling Liam.
A gay couple?
Yes.
No, Liam especially.
Liam, I'm like,
Yeah,
Liam, if Liam needs to go, Liam needs to go. And I said, we will stay and fight here. And I said, I would never, ever hold it against anybody that is in a marginalized community to leave. I will not go anywhere. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm not going to shrink into the background. And I will lay my fucking body down for these people, for all of the people that they're going to go after. And
Oh God, I know.
We'll be fun in the camps, all of us. It'll be fun.
Yeah, that's
it'll be funny.
We'll have each other.
Yeah,
We'll have
Well, all the best
Stephanie.
people.
All the best people will be in the camps. It'll be fun.
All the best music, all the best entertainment, all
It'll
the
be
best,
amazing in the camps. I mean, we'll have the gays and the musicians,
the comedians,
and the comedians. We'll all be in the greatest camps.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No, not the bad ones. We won't
Not
get
the
the
bad ones.
Joe Piscopos.
Yes, that's true.
No.
Oh, that guy at the
Tony, whatever.
Oh God, that guy. No, he will not be there because they love him. So
yeah.
we have the good people in our camps.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can have the sexy liberal resistance tour.
In the camp.
In the
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
I mean, Craig Richard Nelson, who used to work on my mom's show, he played. He was on Fernwood Tonight. If you ever want to look him up, and he was also on America Tonight. And then he worked on my mom's show. He played the therapist for Mama and Eunice.
Oh yeah.
And he emailed me yesterday, and he goes, "We'll be in the great camp." I'm like, "Yeah, it'll be the funniest camp ever."
Hey, all the psychiatrists will be there too.
Yeah.
He's a lovely gay.
psychiatrists.
He's a lovely gay actor that is like amazing, and he's like, "I love you, Jody. I haven't seen in person in a long time, but we became friends again." And like, Craig Richard Nelson, I love you. Look him up, Craig Richard Nelson.
Yeah.
Is his name?
Very familiar. Yeah.
It does.
And he was so cute. He's like, "We'll be in a great camp together." I'm like, "Yes, we will. It'll be fun."
Yeah. Yes.
It will be.
We'll entertain. It'll be entertaining. We'll have some entertainment at least.
Oh God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's hope not.
Yeah.
No, we're not
let's
going. Let's hope it doesn't really come. Honestly, it's kind of not a laughing matter because there are actually going to be camps.
Yes, there will. There will be.
Yes, there will.
And let me just say this right now: he's going to collapse the economy. That with
Oh God, yes.
tariffs. With in Texas, and I know in California. I mean, in Chicago. I mean, think about all the places like in Texas and Florida, red states, where we're dependent. I mean, we are so dependent on undocumented labor and migrants.
Which also sucks, by the way. We should actually pay these people better, but
we
still.
should pay these people better. But it's true. We had our bathrooms redone by undocumented people. I didn't know they were undocumented at the time, but I didn't question it. And there's a lady that cleans our house once in a while that's undocumented. In Florida, 5% of the population is going to disappear.
Let alone Texas, New Mexico,
Texas,
Arizona, and California.
Yep. And documented, undocumented.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they're gonna get Americans. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Oh no! Did you see the funny movie called Born in East LA?
No. I think I've seen it. I might have seen it, but it's been a while.
It was it's called Born in East LA, and he literally gets taken out of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Even though he was born here.
Right.
It's a Cheech and Chong movie.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We've seen it.
And it's full on like comedy version of what's going to happen. Seriously.
Yeah.
Well, it has happened. Okay, we know that it's happened before. They did that when they did that Operation Wetback. There were many Americans that got deported. It's going to happen.
About that.
Yeah.
And on the west side of San Antonio, a lot of those people do not speak English. And they have lived in these neighborhoods. Like my grandparents lived in little Italian neighborhoods where nobody spoke English. Everybody spoke Italian. Now they all speak Spanish. But a lot of them are, documented Americans with children here. Yeah. They are going to end up, when somebody stops them, and immediately they're going to say, where are your papers? And if you don't have your papers on you at all times, these people are going to get deported, and they're going to have to get lawyers to get them out of there.
Yeah, because if you don't look white and blonde,
and especially if you have a thick accent or you don't speak English.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And even if you say like, I voted for Trump, that's not going to matter.
No, it's not going to matter.
That fucking Stephen Miller, that guy is going to be heading it all up. That guy,
I know. Oh my God.
The tadpole?
Yeah. Remember like when he was in high school and there was that stuff that he wrote about
the
immigrants
janitors
in Santa Monica. Yeah.
Yep.
Disgusting. I mean, it's not.
And he has Holocaust survivors in his family.
Yes. He's a Belarusian Jew. I mean,
you'd think he would know.
Yeah, he would know.
You'd think.
I know, but sometimes you never. I mean, and his whole family have kind of
self-haters. It's self-haters.
Well, right. Really. I mean, and even with the Latino vote, I mean, and I say this all the time. White people are the problem. The majority of white women, the majority of white men are the problem.
It was less this year, by the way. It was only 52%.
Yeah, we're actually making some progress with the white community, but the Latinos and the Black. But my theory is this: we do not resource our education system enough. In the United States, and where the poorest areas where those resources are the least are in these areas that are highly Hispanic and Black. My daughter taught at one of these schools. My sister-in-law teaches at one, and these kids, they just don't have the resources for them. They like especially the kids my daughter was teaching, who they're post-COVID. These kids, they're like in third grade and they don't know how to read.
Right.
Oh man.
At all. Yeah. Right. So, I mean, these are the people that we're expecting to understand what's actually going on, and they fall for this bullshit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Trump tells them they're going to take care of everything. He's going to protect you.
Sure. And the right wingers, have bought up all of these Latino, Hispanic, radio stations. Yep. Yeah. So it's such a tragedy. And the fact that it's like pulling up the ladder after you,
exactly.
Like, mind, fuck you.
Yeah.
Type of thing. It's so sad.
I know.
Anyway, but, well, listen, I think we're going to have to wrap because, of course this is an extended, show today.
Is it okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, it was fantastic.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jody. Really.
Of course. I love you guys.
I love you too. Thank you so much.
And we are going to do this again.
We need to keep in touch and try to, have kind of like this little therapy session once in a while.
I will do it anytime you want, guys.
Thank you.
I'm in.
We need to check in on each other and make sure we're all okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because I called you Anita from San and something other.
You called what was it? You said from Anna. What did you say?
San Antonio or something.
Yeah, something. You got it backwards. Something. It was funny, but I didn't care. Everybody.
No. I effed you up. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Listen, all you have to do is say, "Hey, whore." And
Hey, there we go. Hi, whore.
Thank you. Hi,
my
whore.
2 whores. I love my whores.
I love whores too.
Yeah, we love you too, you whore.
Yes. Thank you, Jody.
I love you guys so much.
Love you too. Call,
Thank you for getting me
please.
on this show. I love you guys so much.
We'll do this again in for sure. We have to.
Absolutely.
Because right now it's important that we keep each other's spirits up.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So, and have a laugh together and have a cry together and whatever we need to do.
I'm sorry I
Journal.
cried, but
No.
No, oh my God, don't apologize for that. I've been crying. I've cried so much I can't even cry hardly anymore.
I love you guys both so
Love you
much.
too.
Love you.
All right,
too.
we will talk to you later. Bye, Jody.
Bye,
Thank you
babies.
so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.